Good afternoon, I'm Ben Petrie, and today I'm going to give tips to sellers of homes in San Miguel de Allende. The first and really the most important advice I can give you is price your home at a reasonable amount. Do some research, talk to several agents. When they give you numbers, ask them why. If they tell you your house is worth $400,000, ask them on what they are basing that. And then price your house on a reasonable amount. You probably in this market should price in such a way that your selling price will be 10 or even 15% below your listing price. We've had a bad 2 years or so in the market that seems to be ending. I will be doing later this week a video about pricing and the market as a whole. If you're interested, if you are enjoying these videos and are interested in the ones to come, please like, share, and subscribe. But I'll be talking about the market as a whole. But things look pretty good, but you should get into a reasonable price frame. Many buyers, if you have priced at $500 and the market value is really $375, will not make offers to do that. They're just embarrassed. They're concerned that it will anger the seller, and so on. So the majority, the great majority of people will not make audacious bids, even on properties that are wildly overpriced. So you're not doing yourself any good if you overprice your property. I've shown property where people have said, "Oh, it's listed at $400, but she told me that she would sell to your client at $320." It's like, well, if you're willing to sell at $320, then let's see a $350, $360 listing, not a $400. I mean, there's an element of price discovery in this process, and the more that you are truthful about what you understand the value of your property to be, the faster all this will happen. Okay, so number 2 is clean up your house, fix up your house. You probably, if you were like me, you have little things that you never give a second thought about. A crack in a window, a little water stain in the corner of a bedroom. You probably haven't recognized that your house has grown rather dingy over some years. Almost every house I see could use some amount of painting, and for many listings, I would suggest to people that they paint every surface inside and out. I would also suggest to you that you wash your windows. When you wash your windows, your whole life changes. You find out that you're younger and happier and thinner and everything. It's just unbelievable. I guess it's like when people talk about having cataracts removed, and suddenly it's a whole new world. So wash your windows. Prepare your yard. People don't buy property, they buy dreams. And that is especially true in San Miguel because most of your buyers are likely to be people coming from the US or Canada and looking for an adventure and in love with Mexico, and they want to see something out of El Decor. So present your house in the best way. Spending a couple of $1,000s on these kinds of things will probably increase your sales price on the order of $15,000 to $20,000 or more, and will also speed up the time it takes to sell your property. So that's number 1. Or number 2, price reasonably, put your house in great shape. Also, stuff that makes your house feel bigger and more spacious is a good idea. So you may want to remove some of the furniture you have for the staging in your house. Especially if you live in Centro and you're in an older sort of structure and the rooms are not that big, you may want to take out a couple of chairs or take a leaf out of your dining room table or do some things. Anything you can do that will make your house open and spacious will be a plus for your selling. Next, you should find an agent with whom you have a good rapport. This goes a little bit back to the pricing issue. When you have this dialogue about how did you decide to price my house, you should get a good sense of where you are with the agent. There are certain agents that have been here for decades and have fantastic numbers of listings. And you may find that they're the right person for you. But one thing you should understand is that if a lot of selling comes down to showing the property. And if the agent has dozens and dozens and dozens of listings, it may be harder for he or she to show your property. And I will be making a video about tips for buyers later on in this week. And one of the tips will be to take plenty of time to see plenty of houses. But you would be surprised how many people fly in here for 44 hours and want to see a whole bunch of houses and intend to, make a purchase decision. And so if they are here for 44 hours and trying to see 8 houses, and your agent has 37 listings, it may very well be that your house will not be shown because that agent just will not have the time to do that, or that the agent will turn over the job to his or her assistant. And all of the assistants that I know in San Miguel are really great people. I have never had a bad experience with an assistant. But I think most people will tell you that the selling agent will do a better job of presenting your property if they do it themselves rather than using their assistant. So we want to get a really good price on the house. We want to clean up, paint, make it all spacious and wonderful and like an El Decor dream. Find an agent that we have a good rapport with and that we can get information. Your agent should give you feedback from showings. If people said, it's too dingy, or they don't like this or they don't like that. I showed a house just a few months ago that had the most incredible red living room. I thought it was the most fantastic living room I had ever seen. But so many people who saw it had told the agent that they really disliked it, that the buyer had decided to paint it white. And for my personal taste, horrible decision. But apparently that was the view of the great number of people who see it. So any information, your agent should be providing you information about they liked it, they thought it was too expensive, it's too loud, whatever that information is. Some of it may be important to you in making decisions about the future marketing of your home. I also suggest to everyone that they offer some kind of sales incentive to the selling agent. This can be anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. Could even be more for a $1 million plus property. But again, we get back to people come here for 44 hours. If they're going to see 7 houses, the agent is going to have a bias to showing the one that has the selling bonus if it fits the general criteria of the potential buyer. So this is just reality that will get you more attention and get you more focus from all the agents in town. You also may consider things like leases with an option to purchase or owner financing. These are very, very rare in the San Miguel market, and there are always people that want them. So you will get a lot of attention, again, if you offer this. Offering seller financing in past years was really not a good deal. The courts and such were so favored towards the debtor that it just did not make any sense. But in recent years, there have been some changes in laws and also some important court decisions that make it a pretty reasonable risk. It is never as easy as Texas, where it takes 28 days to repossess your home, but it is a reasonable risk to take, and it will get you a higher traffic, and ultimately, you need X people in your house to find a buyer, whether that's 4 people or 42 people or 142 people. Nobody knows, but the more you get in, the more likely you are to have a deal. And I have seen for people, I did a deal where the couple moved back to the U.S. They were able to get a 100% mortgage at something a little bit less than 3%, I believe. They got half down on their house here and a 15-year mortgage at 8%. Their mortgage payments here pay their mortgage, pay their property taxes, and pay a little chunk of their insurance costs in the States. And they freed up about $60,000. They're older, and one of them is in poor health. They have freed up $60,000 that they can use to enrich the rest of your life. So if this of their life. So if this is in any way a good fit for you, you should consider it, and you may wish to speak to an attorney who can explain it to you. I have, I think, a set or two of the mortgage documents that I can provide you if you are interested. But it may be a great thing for you, and also a great gift to the other person. And if they are an American or a Canadian, we can, of course, run credit checks on them and so forth. But generally, when people put down 50 or 60% of the purchase price, you can feel pretty sure that they will move heaven and earth to pay that mortgage off and not lose that property. So there will be more information in my next video about the overall market. And again, you know, if you're enjoying this and want to receive that, please like and share and subscribe. But it's a good time for you to come to the market. I think we will see that the next 12 months will be a very good time. The issues of COVID and the tremendous violence in the U.S. and the fact that prices in the U.S. are just really, there's really a buying panic because the interest rates are being suppressed, is really going to do well for us. I mean, we are pretty safe here from violence. Reports show that people want to be outside a lot, that they want to be in places where it's easy to social distance, and so on. And I think on pretty much all of those scores of the things that people care about the most, San Miguel is very, very high on that. So I'm expecting the next 12 to 18 months to be a very good time. So if it's your time to sell, I would suggest that you do the things that I have mentioned earlier and get your house on the market by the end of the year. And so good luck to you, God bless you, and I hope just wonderful things happen to you in your journey in life.